Ever wish there was like a playbook for when you need to ask for a favor, those nail-biting moments?
Hmm.
Well, today we're turning to Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power because he's got some seriously strategic advice.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing a deep dive on Law 13, which says, and I quote, "When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude."
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
that might sound, I don't know, a little harsh, but the historical examples Green uses are really going to make you rethink how you approach asking for, well, anything, really.
Definitely. Green has a knack, I think, for cutting through all the BS and exposing those like unspoken rules of power, how things really work.
Right.
And this law, as we're going to see, is all about using those dynamics to your advantage.
He starts by dropping us right into 14th century Italy
Okay.
with the story of Castruccio Castracani, this really ambitious ruler, and the Poggio family, who were like essential to his rise to power. You'd think, right, that past support would mean something, like guarantee some goodwill.
Some kind of loyalty, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the Puggios learned the hard way that assuming gratitude can seriously backfire.
Oh, big time. What's so interesting is how Stefano di Poggio, the head of the family, he tries to like leverage Castracani's return to Lucca. He had this perfect opportunity to offer something valuable to this ambitious ruler, something he needed right then. But instead, he pulls a loyalty card.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, he starts reminding Castracani of all the past favors, appealing to his sense of justice, obligation.
Basically expecting Castracani to be a stand-up guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, because they had this history, he should just be cool.
Right.
But Castracani, he was wired differently.
Yeah.
Power. That was his currency. Not, warm, fuzzy feelings.
Wow.
Stefano missed a golden opportunity there. He could have secured his family's position, really, if he'd offered something that benefited Castracani in that moment. Something tangible.
So what could he have done differently? Let's say you're Stefano. What would have been like the power move in that situation?
Okay, so put yourself in Castracani's shoes. The guy was all about solidifying his power, right?
Mhm.
So think strategic marriage alliances,
Oh, okay.
information about his enemies,
Right.
maybe even a promise of military support.
Ah, I see.
Those were the things that would gotten his attention. Those were things that spoke his language.
Wow.
And I think Green uses this example to show us that when you're dealing with someone who's all about power, appealing to their sense of you owe me, it just doesn't work as well as putting something on the table that they actually want.
Yeah.
Something that benefits them directly.
It really makes you think twice about how you approach people when you need something, right? Like, have you ever totally misjudged what someone's really after, and then your request just totally bombed because of it?
All the time. And the thing is, Green doesn't just like throw this vague idea of self-interest out there and leave us hanging. He actually gets into the nitty-gritty of understanding what makes the person you're dealing with tick.
Yeah.
Like what motivates them on a deeper level.
So it's not always as simple as, well, I'll do you a favor back, or here's some cash or something.
Right. It's about those deeper desires.
It's about figuring out what someone really wants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, what drives this person?
Yeah.
Is it, I don't know, recognition?
Right.
Power? Do they like crave leaving a legacy behind? Once you get to the core of what someone really wants, then you can tailor your approach. So it really clicks with their own desires.
And Green brings in another historical heavyweight to illustrate this. I mean, we're talking Genghis Khan.
Oh, yeah.
This is a man who was about to conquer China, like literally unleash unimaginable destruction.
And that's where Yili Chucai comes in.
Okay.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Right.
Although with like the highest possible stakes.
For sure.
But the key here is he doesn't fall into that trap of begging for mercy.
Because that probably wasn't going to fly with Genghis Khan.
Right. Like, come on. So Chucai, he's smart, right? He taps into something else.
Okay, I have to know. How do you appeal to the self-interest of someone who's about to conquer one of the most powerful empires in the world? Like, what more could you possibly want?
Chucai knew that even the most ruthless conqueror, they can be swayed by a different kind of power.
Oh,
Wealth.
Ah, okay.
He basically points out that if you wipe everyone out, that's it.
Right.
But if you spare them,
Yeah.
you can tax them. You can generate all this revenue year after year after year.
It's brilliant.
Right.
So it wasn't about, please have mercy on us. It was, hey, this is actually the more profitable option here.
Exactly. He reframed the whole thing to highlight the long-term benefits, like appealing to Genghis Khan's ambition for lasting wealth and influence.
So we've seen how powerful it can be to really tap into someone's self-interest when you need something from them. But then Green throws us a bit of a curveball, right?
He does.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's saying, hold on, there's more to this whole self-interest thing than meets the eye.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not always about appealing to someone's ambition or greed.
Right. Because some people, they actually get a kick out of being generous.
Okay.
They like being the one who swoops in and helps. It makes them look good.
So with certain people, you might actually be better off emphasizing the feel-good aspect of your request.
Exactly. Particularly with those who, like, really value their reputation for being, kind or philanthropic.
I see.
You might say, hey, by helping me with this, you're really demonstrating your commitment to whatever cause.
So it's about knowing your audience.
Yeah. Green's really saying, don't just assume everyone thinks like you.
Right.
Pay attention. What do they value? What kind of image are they trying to project?
It's funny how we can get so caught up in our own needs when asking for a favor that we forget to consider the other person's perspective.
Absolutely. And I think that's a big part of what Law 13 is getting at. It's not just about being, like, manipulative. It's about being perceptive.
Being a good observer of human nature.
Exactly. It's about understanding the nuances of what makes people tick. And sometimes that means appealing to their self-interest, in a very tangible way. And other times it's about recognizing that they want to be seen as the good guy.
The hero.
Exactly. So next time you're about to ask for that favor, hit the pause button for a second. Don't just launch into the sob story or remind them about that one time you did them a favor 5 years ago.
Right. Guilt trips are out.
Exactly. Take a moment to think, what really motivates this person? What do they value?
It all comes back to self-interest, even when it looks like something else.
You got it. And once you understand that, you can frame your request in a way that really sings to them.
That's brilliant. So Green might not always be about taking the high road, but he definitely pushes us to be more strategic, more insightful, and ultimately more successful in our interactions.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that's a wrap on another deep dive into the fascinating and sometimes a little bit ruthless world of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Until next time, keep those observations sharp, and remember, sometimes the most powerful move is understanding what the other person wants.